All righty, folks. Welcome to episode 2 of Dealbox Daily. You're joined by your host, Jonathan Alvarado, and my co-host, Brendan McShane, as well as our guest, Taylor Wallace. How's it going, guys?
What's going on?
Hello. Wonderful. So what is Dealbox Daily? Jumping in quickly, we go through the latest crypto and blockchain news so you don't have to. We cover all things digital assets, fintech, blockchain, of course. For entrepreneurs, we cover everything private placements. For investors, alternative investments, as well as category design principles to help you succeed in your respective markets. Where can you find this? It's available on all of our live streaming platforms, our podcasts, and our blog. Links will be provided in the comments below. Kicking things off right away, I'm going to turn it over to Brendan McShane, my co-host, to jump into a crypto market cap update. Take it away, Brendan.
Thank you, John. Okay, right here, we're going to jump right into the crypto market update found on thomascarter.io. Today's market cap is 1.34 trillion, a 0.97% increase over the last day. Bitcoin is still the top coin for market cap, rounding around 32,000 a coin. We'll see if it holds though. Ethereum coming in at 2,000, and then everyone's favorite Doge comes in at only 19 cents. Hopefully that goes up soon. All right, jumping into the first article, we have Tom Brady's NFT platform, Autograph, partners with Lionsgate and DraftKings. They also get a bunch of other pro athletes: Tiger Woods, Wayne Gretzky, Derek Jeter, Naomi Osaka, and Tony Hawk. That'll be interesting to see a combination of all of them. Going in, Lionsgate would be an interesting partnership because the other two have to do with more sports. So we'll see how that goes down the road. But all of these NFTs are going to be sold on DraftKings' new digital marketplace, which I think will be a really good collaboration between the two. What do you think, Taylor?
I think the real thing to keep in mind here, that the thing I'm going to be keeping an eye on, is the fact that we have a lot of these are sports stars. We have Brady, Tiger, Gretzky, Hawk, Jeter, Naomi. And what's the product that a sports star is offering? It's what you tune into. It's their sport. It's the game that they play. And I think there's a reason why we've seen digital artists, and now even I think musicians, have initially a little bit more success, because what are they selling? Well, they're selling digital files at the end of the day. Artists mostly, and musicians, that's what they're selling, an actual piece of music. And so whereas the artist, the digital artist, and the musician can sell their file on an NFT marketplace, what's Brady and Tiger and Gretzky? They're going to sell memorabilia. So I think there's a distinction to be made that hasn't really been made yet between memorabilia and actual art. And I think that we'll see we'll see different ways, both of them, platformed and advertised and sold. And my initial guess is that we're going to see a little bit more success with the artists than we are with the memorabilia. I think that might come a little bit later, that success. But I mean, you have really big names in here, so we'll see.
Guys, really quickly, just because we have Tony Hawk in this list of folks who are participating in this, and he is in one of the Dealbox influencer network contacts. What's the angle for Hawk here? And just seeing his name pop up brings to memory just all sorts of nostalgia for me personally, growing up in California. But what are folks really trying to do here?
I think Tony Hawk is a little bit closer to a musician and an artist than Brady and Tiger and Gretzky are, because I think Tony Hawk has a little bit more control over where his video parts, let's say, or his photographs get sold. So I think actually Tony Hawk has more to gain potentially just from how he's positioned and how his art, you could call skateboarding art, is presented to the world. Whereas the Brady and the Tigers and the Gretzkys, they have to deal with their sports being broadcasted on the networks that they're already broadcasted on. So
wonderful. Well, that was a fantastic conclusion for today's episode, Brendan. Why don't we move on to article number 2?
The next one is Zed, a startup that lets you race NFT horses, has raised $20 million from A16Z and TCG. That will be interesting to see in the future for how it's going to change up the horse racing market. In the past, you need millions of dollars to be able to afford horses and go to the races and upkeep of it. So I think this is a whole new opening to people who enjoy racing and betting on it. And it gives the opportunity for everyone to get in on the space. and you can even split this amongst your friends, and there's no upkeep. So I think this is a interesting way of changing of how a historical sport is going to move into the digital space.
Gosh, $20 million from A16Z, Andreessen and Horowitz. How did that happen?
They have had, let's say here, $30 million worth of digital horse race NFTs have been sold already. So
wow,
I
that's
can see how they
unbelievable.
could-
I mean, honestly, that's unbelievable. When did this thing go up?
I believe,
2018. 2018. Yeah. My favorite line in that article by the Block Crypto, my favorite line, it says, unlike their real life counterparts, Zed Run's racehorses aren't bound by limitations of the physical world. I love
Like
that.
that's already a socially accepted line to include
Yeah,
in today's day and age.
I love it.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, thanks for including that one, Brendan, in our lineup of news articles. I want to interrupt this quick lineup of news to bring you some great information about Dealbox and our investment packaging service for entrepreneurs. Are you in the midst of raising capital for a private company? Your friends at Dealbox have the ability to help you and your team say goodbye to gruelingly long and inefficient rounds. You can learn more at raise.dlbx.io/investment-packaging. With that, I'm going to turn it back to Brendan, our co-host today.
Thank you for that, John. And jumping into the next one, I know the markets have been down in crypto, but this is some exciting news to see in Q2. VCs pumped $4 billion into crypto firms in Q2. That is a lot for one quarter in a new space. Down here, we could see all the new raises that have happened. Circle, 440 million, FTX, 900 million. And that company was only founded in 2019. Ledger's 380 million in June, and then Paxos 300 million in April. This is just huge hauls for companies that are so new. And I think this is some great uplifting news for anyone that's felt down because the market's been down for the all-time heights back in May. But this is
that is unprecedented, truly unprecedented. Yeah. When did this drop? When did we get wind of this? July 22nd. Wow, this is just yesterday.
Yeah.
Taylor, any thoughts here?
I completely agree with what Brendan already said. It's, if you're deflated by the fact that crypto has nearly halved, it's been rough. It's been a bumpy ride. It's not nearly as bumpy as it was before in 2017, but it's still bumpy. But looking at something like this, it just gives me all the more confidence, and should get everybody all the more confidence that this technology is going nowhere. It's a really great experiment that is looking to rival gold in how it stores value, but move with the efficiency and speed of the internet. And it's not going anywhere. There's been nobody that's replaced it, or nothing that's come close yet. So
wonderful inclusion, Brendan. Let's move into our last piece, article number 5.
Next one will be an interesting matchup, I think, in the NFT space. So Steve Jobs' physical job application and mirror copy NFT form to face off on the auction block. So that started on July 21st, and it will run to July 28th. It's on Rarible and Snoofa, and one will be sold as the physical copy, and one's going to be sold as a digital copy. And then in the past, the physical version of the application has an auction history beginning in 2017. In New York, it was sold for $18,000, and then again in Boston for $175,000. Then in London in 2021 for almost $250,000. I think it's going to be interesting to see which one beats out. If the NFT version is going to be worth more, or the physical copy is going to be worth more, and we're going to see how people are going to value this, basically the same asset but in two different ways of holdings.
I think that this is a false binary. I think that I don't know anybody in the NFT space is saying, hey, I think that the NFT version of Jimmy Page's guitar when he recorded Led Zeppelin 1 is worth more than the actual guitar. Like, I don't think anybody's saying that. So I don't even think that this is a viable. This isn't, of course, the actual application Steve Jobs that he wrote on, that's way more valuable than a digital representation of it. So for me, I don't even think that's it. I think that it's a strategic error to separate the two. I think they should both be together, and the NFT should be the means of validation for that physical asset. But to separate them and to say, oh, let's see who wins out. I mean, I would bet anything on the fact that the real object is going to be worth a lot more. So I think moving into the future, that's how these things will go, because it's going to be clear after an auction like this that the NFT is sold for significantly less. And then the NFT would hopefully be used as a form of validation.
What do you guys think? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. We are so delighted to have wrapped up our second segment of Dealbox Daily. Let the conversation continue. We are excited to come back on Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Again, I'll be joined by my co-host, Brendan McShane, our guest, Taylor Wallace. We will have a featured guest next week from New York City as well. Stay tuned for more updates on that on Monday. We are Dealbox Daily, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.